All right, let's begin with the latest news break that is coming in. Intelligence sources have warned of a left-wing threat to the farm stir. Intelligence sources have told India today that a report has been sent to the government claiming that ultra-left leaders and pro-left-wing extremists elements have hijacked the farmer agitation. The intel sources say that there are credible intelligence inputs to indicate that these elements are planning to instigate the farmers to indulge in violence, arson and damage of public property in the coming days. Well, let's cut across right now to Rahul Shrivastava, our National Affairs Editor, for this interesting intelligence input that has been received. Rahul, can you give us more details of this intelligence input? Is it at the back of this one particular, place where it is Ugrawal, where these farmers from that particular area are protesting, which is basically a left-leaning union? Or is there a larger plan now?
Preeti, when the farm protests had started, the Prime Minister had said that the farmers are being misled. That was a very veiled indication that what the government assessment and inputs were. And from there on, after the list of farm unions which are submitted to the government, who would be attending the meeting with the government, it became clear, the profiling was done, and it was found that nearly 16 of the 40-odd who were invited for talks, they had affiliations with the CPIML, CPM, CPI. Now, what the government sources are saying is that there are elements which are trying to utilize the farm protest as a cover. And the idea is not just the demands of the farmers, it's not the agenda. The agenda is to cause disruption and wide-scale, large-scale violence. And that it's not just that there are intelligence inputs, Preeti. The law minister speaking to me nearly 1 hour back has said that there is ample evidence to show that the Tukde gang has now overtaken the protests, and it is possible because of that the farmers are not being allowed to negotiate what is being called as the reasonable demands of the farmers, and it is these strident groups which are dictating the terms.
All right. Rahul, it's a bit preposterous to think that the left-leaning or, these groups are dictating terms, because there are farm unions which come, some of them are, Akali-leaning, some of them are left-leaning, and even from Haryana, there are many which have nothing to do with the left and are stridently saying that we have our own voice. So is it, is it unfair to maybe color them all with the same paintbrush?
See, Preeti, what the government is not saying is that the entire protest is driven by them. What the government is saying that there are elements which are trying to take over or influence the protest as far as the farmers are concerned. And what the government is saying that it has inputs that there are in the meetings, these are the groups which are trying to dictate the agenda. But yes, definitely one fact is that what is largely a farm protest, there might be elements which might be dictating or which might be pushing certain agenda, but the fact remains that most of the poor farmers and others who have come from different sections of regions of Punjab, UP, Himachal and several other states, there is no presence of these kind of elements there. To pick up a paintbrush and say that they have overtaken is a bit of an overstatement. But I think that is an attempt by the government yet again to drive a wedge, perhaps to isolate these groups which might be there and perhaps get them away from the main protesters and then maybe end up negotiating. I think it's a bit of a tactics, political involved in that. Well,
it's a tactics by both, diversionary tactics if we are to put it. But right now, we're going to keep a keen eye on all developments coming in from ground. Appreciate you joining us, Rahul. Meanwhile, a farmer protest at Delhi's Tikri border against the farm law seem to be taking